This is the Lancer Locker Show on KYNT. Now, let's talk some Mount Marty University athletics with the coaches, as well as your host and the voice of Mount Marty University athletics, Tehl Tanner.
Another Monday, another edition of the Lancer Locker on KYNT. We're going football wrap-up today. That's what we're doing. Football recap. We'll wrap up the season. The Mount Marty Lancers finished 3-8 overall, 2-8 in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Only their second year of existence, and man, did they have a turnaround. You could see it in the players. You could see it on the field. 3 wins this season. They got their first ever win up at Presentation. They defeated Briar Cliff and defeated Doane all this year. It's a great program, a great turnaround from last season where they finished 0-10. They really were competing this season. We're going to speak with Coach John Micheletti throughout this show as we wrap up the season. We'll run through all the games, run through what's next, and of course, we'll talk about these seniors. Right now in our Lancer Nation recap, outside of the football game with Jamestown, where the Lancers did lose in that one, 23-20 to wrap up the season. There were 2 basketball games this weekend. Mount Marty basketball versus Doane. The women's team lost 86-53. They are 2-4 on the season. The Mount Marty men's team lost 74-63 on the road to Doane as well. They are 3-3. Both of those basketball teams going to be in action this Wednesday evening in the Simple Arena in Yankton versus Briar Cliff, another GPAC foe coming to town. Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. is when that will start. We've got coverage on KYNT. This is the Lancer Locker. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we return, John Micheletti going to be in the booth.
We were founded on innovation and a passion to help our customers. This is Glenn Zupfer at Aztec in Yankton. We also want our employees to thrive and succeed every day. Our core values are more than something we list on a wall. We live them every day. We have openings in a variety of departments, sign-on bonuses up to $2,000, immediate benefits like retirement savings, paid holidays, bonus earnings, tuition reimbursement, and more. Build your career with a group that's built to connect from rock to road. Stop by for a walk-in interview or click on careers at aztecindustries.com.
You want peace of mind that you're healthy. Support your breast health by getting a mammogram every year starting at age 40. Multiple Avera Breast Center locations across the region offer easy access. We'll create a screening plan that makes sense for you. You have access to specialized breast cancer experts should you need it. Find a screening location near you at avera.org/breast.
Mount Marty Lancer Athletics on KYNT and KYN-TV, courtesy of Shinerbach. Brewed with rich roasted barley malt and German specialty hops, this lightly hopped American-style dark lager always goes down easy. This football season or any season, tip back a Bach. Paired perfectly with tailgating, porch sitting, washer tossing, dog petting, and literally anything. Shinerbach, available year-round at your favorite place to buy beer.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Don't just bank, be an explorer. Here at Explorers Credit Union, we do banking differently. As a not-for-profit, member-owned credit union, we know that financial wellness isn't a destination, it's a journey. We're here to help you set goals and reach them with the financial tools, expertise, and support you need. If you're looking for better rates on your loans and local service from your friends and neighbors, Explorers Credit Union has you covered. Learn how we can help your financial journey at explorerscu.com.
All right, back in the Lancer Locker, let's go ahead and welcome in John Micheletti, the head coach of this Mount Marty football program that just finished up their second season ever, 3-8 overall record. The first win in program history, the second win, it was on the road, and then their home victory, the lone home victory of the season as well, was on Lancer Days. It was a pretty successful season, John. You got to be proud of the work your guys put in year number 2. Your overall thoughts on the season?
Yeah, very proud of the growth that they had. I know it's when you're building a program, you try to find different things to be able to measure wins and losses other than the record book, and I know that's one thing I kind of talked about last year with you. But this year, even to be able to get some wins, but it's still making sure that they understand the process of building that foundation up and understanding that we sacrifice now to reap the benefits of it later.
I spoke with Andy Bernardo, the athletic director at Mount Marty University, post-game a couple of times this season, just as we're passing. One of the things that he really said was this Lancer program is ahead of schedule when you take a look at some other teams around the GPAC. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're on or ahead of schedule for really becoming a good program?
It's hard to kind of say that. I've obviously never built a program up from scratch. I've been a part of a rebuild and things like that, but I don't want to compare or anything like that. I just want to focus on ourselves of that and making sure we're doing the right things. I think it's easy to, if you do start comparing, then you could either get complacent with a few things, and we obviously want to stay away from that. So trying to make sure that we constantly focus on ourselves and the small details of each day and let the outcomes take care of itself.
Well, let's focus on the Lancers as we recap this season. Started off with your first non-conference game ever, the Catholic Cup. Hopefully going to be a traveling trophy game there. I'm looking forward to this one in Yankton next season. You defeated Presentation on the road 42-10. That was an incredible way to start the season, John. As we talk about that first game, what do you think that win did? 42-10 over Presentation. What do you think that win did for your program?
I think it allowed our guys to breathe, allowed our guys to relax a little bit, let them know that they are doing the right things, a little bit of that instant gratification. And it was great to start fast. I know that was the main thing that we hit on for the whole year off season leading into the season was, we want to make sure we start fast and obviously be able to handle adversity as it comes. But I think obviously we started fast in that game, but also that game being the first game of the season made our season start fast, which was able to catapult us and get us a little bit of confidence moving throughout the conference play.
You go into that next game at Hastings, 45-20 on the road. Hastings really was similar to the Lancers in the terms of they had a really crazy one-year rebuild. Ended up going, I think, 5-1 to start the year. After that game, you had to play number 23, Midland. You were already going to a top 25 opponent. But I thought the Lancers bounced back pretty well and played very well against a top 25 opponent.
Yeah, even talking about the Hastings game, that was one that I think that we let get away from us. The score, I don't think, justifies how close that game was. There was a few errors that happened that resulted in, obviously, scores and things like that. But our guys were able to recap after that and get ready to go into a very good Midland team and really take them all the way down to the wire. I remember trying to go in on a goal line stand that they stopped us there right in the fourth quarter that would have got the game even closer there. So, no, those are good confidence boosters. Obviously, early in the year, there's going to be a lot of wrinkles and things like that you want to iron out. So we were able to, what do they say, the biggest improvements from week 1 to week 2, the next biggest improvements from week 2 to week 3, and then after that is your team. So I don't know, an old coach used to tell me that all the time, and that's something that always sticks in my mind, that true or not, but it is constantly big improvements that you see from week 1 to week 2 and then 2 to 3. So, yeah, very proud of how we started the season, even though we started off 1-2. I think we battled with 2 very good teams in our first 2 games in conference.
And then you go straight into Briar Cliff. You got that first conference win in program history, John. The best moment of the season by far came post-game when somebody locked the door to the press box and you climbed through the window to come talk with us. I will forever remember that one. So I know you were excited about this game for sure. Yeah,
I was very excited about it. I actually forgot about that post-game, but no, it was good to see that game because we dominated from the start to the finish. We obviously didn't score too many at the beginning, but we were able to still start fast. But then once we got going, we really didn't look back. And that's one thing that I feel is a positive with a young team is sometimes you don't know how good you are. And if you just don't think about that part and just go through it, then, like I said, the outcome takes care of itself. And our guys had a lot of fun that game, and it showed.
We saw that Ken Gay was really throwing the ball well against Presentation and then in the next 2 games after that. But this was the game where your ground attack really exploded. You have it over 300 yards on the ground. Your average yards per rush was over 6 in this game against Briarcliff. That's where you really found your identity, I think, as a very balanced program.
For sure. And I'll say that's what we want to be. I think that everything starts with the run game. We have a very talented running back room, and that showed. And obviously, we needed that throughout the season as injuries came and things like that. But I think in order to make the pass game easier, you got to be able to run the ball. And our O-line was clicking on all cylinders that day, and really started to be a little bit more diverse with the run game as well. As you can see us start to get the ball to the edge a little bit more and have success with it.
When you go into those next 4 games on the schedule, probably the toughest 4-game stretch in the country for any NAIA program out there. You had number 1 and number 4, and then you had Dorton Concordia both as well, who are 2 of the best teams in the best conference in the NAIA, in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Go 0-4 through that stretch. But then you come out of that one for a Lancer Days game. You always wonder how a team is going to bounce back after a stretch like that, especially coming off that loss to Morningside. Your team answered against Doane in Lancer Days, 27-16. I was blown away by how well they were able to bounce back, Coach. You really held them together throughout that.
Yeah, that's the short-term memory that we constantly talk about. Is it's good to learn from the past and let it motivate you for the future, but if you're staying in the past and dwelling on it and staying in those negative emotions, that you really only negative things can happen. So, as you mentioned, the Morningside game was a pretty hefty loss there, but being able to turn the page and get right to work that next week and have something to prove and be excited about it. That's one thing that I'm constantly preaching to the guys, and glad to see them echoing that part is the positivity and the excitement of the game, because we all play that game, or we coach the game because we love it, and opportunities to continually build relationships and bonds with each other, and our guys aren't missing out on that point. And those guys played together in that game for Lancer Days, and it was exciting atmosphere and all that to be able to share with the community as well.
Absolutely. Once again, 27-16 over Doane, your first ever home victory, and it came on Lancer Days. But there was a lot of drama in this game outside of just the score, and that was at the quarterback position, where your starting cornerback had went down 2 weeks prior, didn't play the fourth quarter against Concordia, didn't play against Morningside, came out in this first drive of the ball game. Ken Gay was there, had a very good drive, had nearly 100 yards passing, went down for a touchdown, but that shoulder was just bothering him. You got to bring in your backup quarterback, a young man named Clayton Byer, who ended up with some heroics at the end of that game, Coach. 2 incredible strikes to Rex Reichen down the middle of the field. You were able to win the game with just over a minute remaining and then score one more time. That was a lot of drama at the end of that game. That's got to be a fun memory.
It was. Obviously, speaking of a next man up mentality, Clayton has done an outstanding job of being prepared. Each and every game, whether he realizes that Ken's banged up, or hey, he's completely healthy and I just got to be prepared for my time, and he took advantage of that. He's one of those guys that does every little detail right, and he's one of the best teammates we have on the team, and that's why we were able to trust him. And I think our team didn't blink when we put the next guy in, especially in an important role as the quarterback that seems to be the face of the football team. Any football team you're kind of talking about, everybody wants to know about the quarterback. So very proud of him, and then glad to get Trevor Fitzgerald going in that game. That was huge for him, breaking out, getting a little bit more confidence. And then Rex Reichen's just been such a great piece for us his whole career here, and glad to see him on Lancer Days, those 2 Yankton natives, be able to lead us there to a victory.
Absolutely. Definitely the highlight of the season on at-home Lancer Days for sure. It's got to be fun. Last 2 games of the season, Dakota Wesleyan and Jamestown. 115 points were scored between all 3 of these teams in these 2 games there. The final point spread was 7 in both of the games. 4-point spread against Dakota Wesleyan, a very close loss, and a 3-point loss to Jamestown on Saturday. You were able to end the season with 3 wins total, Coach. As you look back at this season, now that it's been a couple days, how do you think the season truly went for your team?
I think it went as well as we prepared for. I think there was times that we left a couple points or a couple plays on the field that we can look back and change that. But, obviously everything's learning, so I want to make sure our guys are using that to motivate them for this offseason. Obviously praise and thanks to all the seniors and stuff like that. But I'm always, quickly ready to reflect and then move on to not waste any time on the next thing. So very proud of our guys. I had a lot of fun this season. Obviously, it was fun to win some games and have some positive feedback and all that stuff. But there's a lot of memories with these guys that I'll cherish forever.
Well, Coach, we've got a lot more to talk about here on the Lancer Locker, but we got to take a break as well. When we return, we'll go over some of these seniors of this program and what's next for the Mount Marty Lancers. This is KYNT. It's the Lancer Locker.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
What's the best beverage to enjoy while rooting on your team? 1919 root beer, of course. 1919 is brewed in small batches with only the finest ingredients, real sugar and real vanilla. The unique recipe and these choice ingredients make 1919 the creamiest, full-bodied draft root beer available. Find it in 12 packs and single-serve cans at grocery, convenience stores, and restaurants. 1919 is alcohol-free and contains no caffeine, making it a beverage of choice at any time for anyone in the family.
Quit smoking, and in just 20 minutes, your blood pressure returns to normal. In 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels in your blood drop. In 48 hours, your sense of smell and taste improve. Within 2 weeks, your lungs work better, you heal faster. 9 months means more energy, fewer illnesses. And in 5 years, your risk of heart attack is half of what it is now. Take a deep breath. You can do this. Call the Quit line at 866-SDQUITS.
Heartland Humane Society needs your help finding forever homes for over 750 pets in 2022. Pets in the shelter's care are fully vaccinated, microchipped, and always great with people. You can help by volunteering to walk a dog or cuddle a cat, by fostering a pet for just the weekend or long term, by making a donation to cover an animal's care, or by choosing adoption in 2022. To learn more, visit heartlandhumanesociety.net.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Back in the Lancer Locker, I'm Tehl Tanner with John Micheletti wrapping up Mount Marty football. 3 wins in their second season ever. John, let's talk about some of these seniors post-game on Saturday. You told me they just meant everything to this program, absolutely everything. When you look at this group of seniors, now that you've had a couple of days to really reflect on this season, what do you think that their biggest impact on this program was?
Honestly, the easiest answer is setting the foundation. But being the relationship building part, let them know that everything is okay, because I think a lot of those younger guys that get here, which is mainly our whole team over the last 2 years, have been freshmen. When things aren't going how they assume or how they thought, that they look for the older guys. How are they responding? And when they handle it with ease, they know everything's okay. It's kind of like obviously I have some young kids at home, and when there's thunder or something like that going out, they're like looking at mom and dad, hey, is this normal? Is this okay? And you're like, yeah, this is just part of life, and the same thing, these guys are kind of been those comforting pieces for those youth, to let them know, like, hey, this is okay. We'll be all right. We're doing the right thing. So, honestly, they're probably more important than myself, honestly. The seniors are forever indebted for their leadership and their, camaraderie of the team, all that stuff.
They had 1 senior last year, 8 this year. You're going to be pretty upperclassmen laden as you go into your next couple of seasons, considering how young you were the first 2 years. That's got to be exciting as well.
It is, and I think, one thing that I constantly reiterate to the staff and is the 2 most important parts of a college coach are recruiting and retention. So you want to make sure you're obviously retaining the talent and the groups of the guys, because obviously everybody develops at different stages in life. Obviously, you got a kid that might be a 9-man kid that didn't have the resources that an 11-man kid from Texas had. That they're obviously come in on 2 different levels, and you want to make sure that you give them time to develop towards their potential. But yeah.
Let's run through these seniors and talk about each one. talk through them alphabetically. Started off with Justin Chomp, a Yankton native and accounting major for this program. One of the defensive backs that has just started a lot of games for this program.
Yeah, Justin, unbelievable, hardworking kid. One of the, probably said 6 words his whole time there. He's more of a lead by example guy. We do a thing called a pacer test each and every fall camp just to kind of see who's been doing conditioning over break, and he's won it each and every year. Obviously, it has a little bit of head start on everybody because he did that for his Yankton High School as well, but he definitely was a hardworking guy, weight room guy, reliable as heck, and lots of love for Justin.
Go to Marvin LaRose out of Atlanta, Georgia. Business Administration and Management is his major. Tell me about this guy.
Yeah, Marv, as we call him, great glue guy, funny character guy, almost the exact opposite of Chop in that part's much more open. He does have a few years of eligibility left. We actually moved him to D-line halfway through the season, and he started to have a lot of success there after playing offensive line there for the first few years. Has really embraced himself within the Yankton community. You see him around a lot, and looking forward to get him back into our grad program to see him get on the field a little bit more.
Go to another defensive back, Jaron Mortensen out of Duchesne, Utah, another business administration and management major. You're losing both Chomp and Mortensen. I know you were DB yourself, and you've told me that you love that position group for sure. You're losing both of them, but let's talk about Mortensen, your strong safety for the last couple of years.
Yeah, Jaron, we have a special relationship. He was actually, if you remember, played for me at Kansas Wesleyan when I was in my last year there. And then transferred up here after he went to Dixie State for a semester after I originally came up here. But so we've got to know each other a little bit more time-wise than anybody else. But unbelievable guy, great character. He was a guy that stayed around all summer, worked with Rosie to train some of the high school guys around here. Great leader on defense, communicates, sets everything up coverage-wise on the back end. And obviously he was a pretty heavy tackler too. He was one of our most sure-handed tacklers that we had on defense. I'm very excited to see him continuously grow. I think we're going to be able to keep him around in the Yankton community here for a little bit. Hopefully, get him on the coaching staff or something like that if I'm lucky enough.
That'd be certainly nice to see for sure. Go to another defensive guy. A lot of defensive seniors I'm noticing. Drew Pendleton, your signal caller out of Burbank, California, exercise science major. Tell me about this guy.
Yeah, Drew's one of the best linebackers that I've actually ever coached, and that's saying a lot because I've had some, All-Americans, and there's one of those All-Americans that are on my staff, and Coach Charles Barnes. But Drew Pendleton, another guy that doesn't say too many words, but constantly does the right thing all the time. I go over there and meet with Coach Rosie or something like that, asking about a player's health or something like that. He's over there using the Theraguns or things like that, trying to really take care of his body. He's probably pound for pound one of the strongest guys that we have on our team. I love watching him play. He's one of those guys in an era where the word swag and drip gets used so many times with what people wear. He is as basic as it comes. We'll just wear just the short sleeve shirts and the socks that we give him, and he's okay with that. He's going to make a ton of plays. He's a very gritty player, and definitely going to miss Drew.
Drew Pendleton leading the Lancers in tackles, sacks, tackles for loss, was certainly a big player for you.
Yeah, we look forward to hopefully once the all-conference stuff comes out tomorrow, we're hoping to see his name on that list.
I'm looking forward to that. Go to another defensive guy, Avery Rice out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Transferred in. He's a psychology major. He was your free safety for the majority of this season.
Yeah, Avery did a great job of transitioning from presentation. We had him play a little bit of corner last year, which really he's a safety at heart, and glad we were able to kind of put him at that position this year. Very smart guy. He's got a little bit of a wrestling background, and you can kind of see that when he tries to tackle guys, being an undersized guy. Still finds a way to bring those bigger guys down. Very detail-oriented, a great student, things like that. He always wanted to come in our office, have a little time to be able to talk about motions, things like that, to make sure he felt good about that. He is a great big brother, which is one thing I really love about him. He loves his little brother that's a very good wrestler. He comes in and talks to me about him all the time, and I look forward to watching his future and his excitement about watching his brother compete in college athletics.
Let's talk about Sebastian Ramos now, out of East Los Angeles, California, a psych major. This player.
Yeah, so Ramos ended up getting hurt in the, was it the Dordt game? Yep, the night game. which actually ruled him out for the rest of the year. He dislocated his elbow. But he's a very talented person. He's one of those that and a lot of people don't understand in his free time. He is an artist, so he sings music and writes music. He's actually has his own Spotify channel. And he's also a model, so he's
a model?
He is
I
a
didn't know
model.
that.
Yeah, he's a very good-looking guy, so I understand that point. But he got his own clothing lines and things like that he works for, and he finds different ways to make money. But he's a very interesting entrepreneur, guy that I like to constantly pick his brain with. And like I said, he's another one of those glue guys on the team. He was one of those, we give teammate of the week awards. He was one of those guys I could probably give to every week, even though when he's out, he's just constantly bringing positivity to the team.
That's absolutely awesome. And he's a model. You got any other models on this team that I don't know about?
No, he's the only one.
Well, you're losing your only model, which is sad. But yeah, congrats to him on graduating. Psych major once again. Go to Rex Riken now, a Yankton native, accounting major. In my opinion, he might just be the best tight end in the GPAC.
Yeah, that's looking at stat-wise, he's leading all tight ends in receptions, reception yards, touchdowns, pretty much everything with receiving and tight ends. And if you look at all the receiving with the receivers as well, he's usually ranked up there in the top 5. So very talented guy. Love him to death. He's a hard-working kid. He really embraced the tight end position, coming from an ex-receiver that he played in high school. Does a great job blocking. Usually you don't find too many guys that wanted to go do that, especially guys that have much more of a receiver background. But sure-handed as it gets. Love the kid to death. I'll do anything possible to let him come back for another year. I think that'd be special.
He does have eligibility left, but accounting major, he's graduating. Go to our final senior, Tavita Tomasi out of Brentwood, California, a psych major. Tomasi, I believe 4.5 or 3.5 sacks on the season for Tomasi. Very good player up front. Yeah,
so Tavita, really have a great love for him because he really made a great stride from year 1 to year 2, even though he was only with us for 2 years. But he really understood that buy-in part, and you really got to see him change when he showed up on film. Because he understood and he was able to buy in more, that his play went up. Obviously, everybody around him trusted him more. He always looked the part. It was just understanding what he had to do and make the most of everything. He was a guy that was voted as a captain, so I worked very close with him each and every week on player relation, anything like that, team bonding stuff. Great guy, great leader for our team. Will be missed, but I'm very excited to see him graduate here in May.
Well, that is your group of 8 seniors, John. Seems like a very special group. You have a lot of nice things to say about them for sure.
Yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons I love this job is just being able to watch guys grow over their time. And, obviously these guys have only been here for a couple years, but building bonds with those guys and looking forward to continually build those over time and watch them continuously chase success and, build their families up, build their professional lives up in many different ways. That these guys are ready for the real world, and I can't wait for them to go chase success.
Well, Coach Micheletti, we're starting to run out of time here on the Lancer Locker. As we wrap up 2022, let's take an early look at 2023. Obviously, you're going to be returning a lot of players with only 8 seniors this year and 1 last year. You're going to start to be an upper class laden team instead of a very young team. What is the early look at 23?
Yeah, we want to look at consistency, and that's our biggest focus moving forward. I know that's kind of an early jump, like Coach season just ended a few days ago, but I think that is the biggest room for improvement is consistency. We had some success, we had some failures, we had some learning points and things like that, but we got to make sure, no matter what it is, if we can do it consistently, I think success will follow.
Well, Coach Micheletti, thank you very much for coming in all season long on the Lancer Locker. We've had so many talks, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. We'll talk to you again this spring, talk about the recruiting class when it's finalized.
Yes, really appreciate you, Tehl.
This is the Lancer Locker on KYNT. Let's go ahead and finish things up.
With grain carts getting bigger and better every year, don't you think it's time to outfit them accordingly? Sherco's 4500 Series HD electric tarp works seamlessly with existing Sherlock tarps. The heavy-duty extruded arms are the strongest on the market and come with a lifetime warranty. Operating is easy and convenient with one of our smart remote options that let you open and close your tarp with the push of a button. Call to order yours today at 1-800-474-8756. When you need to be sure, make it Sherco.
What's special about Slumberland is ours is a free service. They get to come into our store. It helps the customer understand how the space is going to work so that they don't feel nervous about their purchase. If you live locally, you can set up an appointment with one of our sales representatives where we can come into your home and help you understand if you want to go shopping in your own home and bring some different pieces in to help them work with maybe the new piece you're looking for.
Free interior design service at Yankton Slumberland, located at 2401 Broadway Avenue.
Beef, pork, seafood, poultry, and more. All at the Meat Lodge in Yankton. Get top quality meats at great prices. They have specialty items like lamb, brisket, mahi-mahi, crab legs, and lobster. They even have non-meat options like Dimmick cheese, pickled items, seasonings, and sauces. For your convenience, you can call and order curbside pickup or order online at meatlodge.com. The Meat Lodge in Yankton, on the way to the lake on Highway 52.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
It's not too early to start protecting against influenza, and the single, most important step is to get your flu shot. Yankton Medical Clinic PC offers the vaccine to all those 6 months and older and is hosting drive-through flu shot clinics with no appointment necessary, Tuesday, October 11th and Wednesday, October 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. Visit yanktonmedicalclinic.com/flu for information and registration forms. Keep yourself and those you love healthy this flu season. Yankton Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
Alrighty, back in the Lancer locker, I'm Tehl Tanner. We're going overtime. We're going way overtime. But you know what? In my defense, it's football recap. We've got a lot to talk about, and there's a lot going on in Lancer athletics. The Lancers finish up their season 3-8 overall, get their first 3 wins in conference history. Definitely a lot of strides made by that football program. I am so excited for year 3. This program is going to be good. I am looking forward to next fall. This is KYNT 102.1 FM AM 1450. Lancer basketball will be in the Simple Arena this Wednesday night once again versus Briarcliff University. 6 p.m. the women will tip off. Men's game immediately following. Briarcliff, Mount Marty, Simple Arena. We've got coverage right here, KYNT and KYNTV. My name is Tehl Tanner. This has been the Lancer Locker. It's been a great football season. Thank you all for listening in. Thanks y'all for sticking with me throughout the season. We'll see you next time.